This is one of the best sprints I've ever seen pulled off, and it's been done in the Tour de France, no less. Quite unusual, though, to have a sprint stage in the Tour de France on a weekend after another sprint stage. So back to back from Périgueux to Bergerac, hot conditions. Tomorrow's stage is going to be shortened, but we have, two Category 4 climbs that are of no consequence for the sprinters, an intermediate sprint in between them, and then we turn right at 500 meters to go. Last 2Ks are reasonably technical, and we see Vavaka joking with Berkmo's Quickstep controlling Lotto in the breakaway today. One man not allowed in was Kasper Asgreen. He's got the aero helmet on, and Quickstep, Alpecin, and NSN were not letting engines like him or Abrahamson get in the breakaway. So a bit more intensity in the breakaway formation today. More teams wanting to go in. Liam Slock jumps for Lotto into Marseille. Otrubert jumps across and joins him with Thibaut Gernalek. And so we have three in the break. For once, Dylan van Baarle begins controlling for Soudal Quickstep for the favourite, perhaps, Tim Merlier, alongside Sylvain Dillier for Jasper Philipsen. But at the first intermediate sprint, or only one rather, the break takes the first three positions, 25, 20 and 16 points gone. But fourth position still available, 14 points. So for the green jersey competition, which is really heating up. I mean, Cantor, Philipsen, Bini, Merlier now, and Pedersen, 5 different guys are going for this. Coy is still not, he's not competing in these sprints, so he's not going for it. That we see Pedersen just beaten by Jasper Philipsen and Cantor, so he loses 4 points to them. You just got to be in it to win it. It's not huge swings. At the last Category 4 climb, Slock drops a Truba. Asgreen goes again. And unfortunately for him, he's got Tratnik, Mathieu van der Poel, and I think Ilan van Wilder for Soudal Quickstep, as well as NSN with Askey perhaps controlling him. Abrahamson counters, but Van Wilder straight on the wheel. So these sprint teams really not letting any attacks go. They were alive to it. They knew the Scandinavians were going to go for it. But yeah, I think Slock made a mistake not waiting for Otruba over the KOM. I think if he waited 5 or 7 seconds, it would have been worth it. I know Otruba was not as strong as him, but 1 minute and 8 seconds, 11 Ks to go. Slock's really, really strong. He's been really good in the classics this year. Won in the race before Switzerland in Hippinger in June. But unfortunately for him, he's not as aero as someone like a Verstroffer, and there was just too many sprint teams wanting to control. Chu to start to help, even Koffer to start to pull, Ineos will pull if need be. Astana, they turn up quite early. I was a bit surprised. They used Aaron Gate early to control. I know it's some corners, but the beauty of their lead out has been saving it and then coming late. That's how Cantor's got all these really good sprint results, and they use them early. I mean, maybe they were just holding Slock because he was kind of cooked at this point. It's only 10 seconds and it's not that technical. There's one right-hander here. You see Bahrain shoot the inside, and they even drop the wheel. So I don't know what they were exactly doing, because they get in the middle of the two Astana guys and then drop the wheel to both of them. But yeah, for Slock, it wasn't happening, unfortunately. But yeah, I was surprised Astana took so much responsibility in this phase when, Decathlon or Alpecin make them use their lead outs. But still, with Slock not being caught, the motorbike's going to go across to him now. Still a decent gap. 2Ks to go. It just changes the nature of the sprint. It just means the lead-outs are not as organised. It means they've had to use riders. It means the last 10Ks have been harder than they would have been otherwise. And so it's just a different sprint, and maybe you have one lead-out guy. If you're going to stick with him in the final, you've got to reorganise quickly. See Case Ball moving Coy up on the bottom right-hand side, and then Slock is caught. 1,300 metres to go, but then we have a right-hand fast corner just after that. There's no time to get organised. There's then a right-hander straight after that where everyone wants to be in position, 500 metres to go. So it's literally 30 seconds from catching Slock to then getting organised. You see Turnison looking back. He's on the front too early because, as I said, Astana, they used Ballerini and Gate too early, but Turnison's experienced. He waits. He wants another lead out to go ahead of him, but he doesn't let Van der Poel do that. I think perhaps he would have been better off letting Van der Poel do that. And so the order is Turnison, Cantor, Van der Poel, Russo, Philipsen. Coy's got that wheel. Merlier's very, very deep. He's blocked by Godon. He's got Binny to his left-hand side. And I was expecting Turnison to let Van der Poel come over the top of him before the corner. Instead, he fights him into the corner. Van der Poel then really explodes out of the corner, and I'll show you the extended overhead. It looks like Koi's in the perfect position. He's got the lead out, and he can jump Philipsen, and they left the door open once again like yesterday, and Merlier jumps from behind. This is one of the most unbelievable sprints of the year. Tour de France level sprint, and a guy's come from this position at 500 meters to go in the corner. There's 2 lead-out men ahead of him in front. So you got Canter with Turnison, you got Van der Poel for Philipsen, and Koi's got the perfect sit, and he's going to get blocked nearly. He gets onto the wheel of Binny here. Van der Poel, he's just too explosive here. He should have been a bit more progressive and then gone to one side of the barriers with Philipsen. They leave the door open again. But Merlier, he's got the drag in. You see that Fretin was gapped. That's how hard Van der Poel accelerated. Merlier starts his sprint here. I don't know if this is like 300 meters to go. He's going to sprint into the next group. Cantor gets dropped off. He and Koi then fight for the wheel of Philipsen, and Merlier, he sits down for a second and then just sends it again and leaves these guys flat-footed trying to get back up to speed, washes over them. Binny came from the back too with speed. Bittner as well. Unbelievable sprint from Tim Merlier. Best sprinter in the world, wins back-to-back sprints. Did it himself. No Sturven. Van Leeuwenberg are really here for him in the final. Sturven was a bit too far forward, winning ahead of Binny, Koi third, then Philipsen, Bittner, Ploemers, Ackermann, Rousseau, Canter, Fretin. Here's what the Belgian star had to say.
Tim Merlier, if I'm correct, a 5th stage win on the Tour de France, but today you really showed you were the boss.
Didn't feel like this. I need to fight for my position all the time until until the last meter, definitely. Just before the corner, was a bit boxed in, and then they almost crashed. And I thought it was over, so I gave it a try to come back on the guys who did the lead out. And then I was coming with so much speed, so it was 250 then. I say I gave it a try until the finish, we see. But in the last 50 meters, I can't push anymore.
Because honestly, I don't know how you found the energy to carry on, to take off from so early and to hang on and to out-sprint everyone.
If I see the finish, I can give more than somewhere else. But in this heat was a really difficult effort.
The win yesterday opened the win today?
Yeah, mostly like this. If you win one, you can win a second, and I'm happy. On 3 stages, I can 2 of it.
So whatever happens now, the Tour de France is a good Tour de France for Tim Merlier.
Definitely my Tour de France is ready.
In terms of GC, no changes, no incidents. Pogacar still 2:42 ahead of Vingegaard, Del Toro in third. Tomorrow we have sort of a rouleau breakaway. The stage has been shortened by, 30 kilometers or 40 kilometers at the start. But still, I think it's going to be hard for the sprint teams to control. Will Pedersen be in the breakaway once again with teammates? I would say so, and he'll be the big favourite. Ciao, ciao.